Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. And this will be your horoscope for Saturn stationing retrograde. So Saturn has officially stationed retrograde as I'm recording this. And this will be a transit that will take place from June 17th all the way until November 4th. So Saturn will be stationed here in Aquarius, and this is a very powerful position for Saturn because Saturn is at home and in its Mullatricone sign of Aquarius. So many people have fears around retrogrades, but actually a retrograde is when a planet is at its most intense level. This is a very powerful position. And this especially is a very positive position of Saturn as it is in its own sign. So Saturn feels empowered to be here. And what has this Saturn Aquarius transit been all about? All about service, all about responsibility. Saturn is all about doing your duty, but with Aquarius, it is about the collective, about humanity, about how you are able to give back. And so this is all about service. This is all about being able to live up to the duties and obligations that you have in your life. Now, Saturn has been aspecting onto Rahu and Jupiter, which have moved officially into the sign of Aries. So this is a very interesting conjunction happening between Rahu and Jupiter that is continuing to expand us into a brand new direction. And this is especially true with Jupiter here. Rahu is magnifying this energy of Jupiter. But Rahu is a bit deceptive, a bit of an illusionary aspect. But Saturn is here to control this through its third aspect. So this is giving us a sense of stability and security as we push forward into this brand new direction. Now, what you will notice is by the end of this transit of Saturn in its retrograde motion that we will be entering into a brand new reality because by the end of this transit, Rahu will have moved back into the sign of Pisces. So we're leaving behind this Rahu-Aries transit as we get towards the end of October going into November. So this is a very interesting situation. We have this aspect that will continue on to Jupiter, and as we get to the end of this transit, Jupiter will be stationed retrograde in the middle of Aries. So there's a lot of focus around your self-control, self-restraint, your ability to expand but to not go past the limit with this energy. Rahu, though, going back into Pisces is definitely bringing us into a space of self-realization, of going inward, of tapping into deeper truths, deeper insights. There's a lot of focus of moving into this brand new reality. Ketu sitting back in Virgo is all about leaving behind the attachments and past situations that plague us. Virgo is that critical sign that is all about dealing with the details and information. But are you obsessing over things? Are you getting too attached, too worried over the details? There's a lot of healing and releasing that is taking place as we move into this next direction. Now, Pisces is not all a soft sign or soft energy. There is a lot of transformative energies that are in the sign of Pisces, a lot of intense energies that are in this sign of Pisces. That is all about letting go. That is all about tapping into this deeper truth, this deeper realization. And as Pisces takes us inward, it is all about realizing your true self, your higher self, which also is requiring you to get out of this space of people pleasing, of trying to make others feel comfortable, but realizing your own dreams, your own truth, and standing in your own belief. So this is a powerful Saturn transit. There's a lot here that needs to be cleaned up and worked through for many of us. Saturn here is giving us a chance to slow down and to look at all of the areas that we need to focus on. So for those of you who have been coming into this Saturn transit here since January, looking at what is it that you need to focus on, what is it that you need to build and to work towards. This is definitely something that will come up strongly in this retrograde. And And we will see Saturn by the end of this retrograde dipping back slightly into our last nakshatra of Dhanishta, which is all about getting into the rhythm and flow of the universe. And so there is a lot of this focus of moving backwards into understanding what is your true purpose, what is your true calling. Many of us have been in this state of flow, but coming into this Shadabishta nakshatra, there are a lot of worries, a lot of doubts, a lot of focus on where is this all taking us. So have you gotten confused in this Rahu fog of this Shadabishta nakshatra? Or are you using this to expand and to heal and grow in the way that best serves you? This is a big question coming up as we go into this retrograde. And so definitely the energy of this retrograde is all about slowing down. For those of you who are all about pushing forward, all about continuing to progress forward, this is definitely urging you to slow down and to take a look at where you are, where you have come from, and what is your true direction. So let's go ahead and talk about how this will affect each of you according to your zodiac sign. And in this video, you can use your Lagna or ascendant sign, your moon sign, your dasha sign. So for example, if you are running a K2 dasha and you have K2 in Leo, then you can put Leo in your first house as your ascendant and read from that position. You can also see this from your ascendant in your Navamsa chart or from your sun sign. But most importantly, you always want to read from your ascendant and moon sign. This will give you the most accurate representation. So starting off with those of you with an Aries rising, this has been quite a journey here with Rahu and Jupiter coming into your first house. This is all about you stepping into a brand new chapter of your life. A lot that you're leaving behind here, especially around your friend circles and groups with Saturn sitting in this 11th house. So some of you are realizing your self-worth. You're realizing those who are not meant to be in your life, and you are doing some cleaning as far as your social groups. So this can also give you a feeling of freedom, a feeling of finally understanding who is meant to be in your life and what is meant for you. You're very focused on your future and where things are heading, and really putting the pieces together. And this is a huge relief coming off of Saturn Capricorn that has put this huge weight and responsibility on you in the last 2 years. So Saturn stationing retrograde here is about taking you even deeper into understanding what hopes and dreams are aligned with you, what friend circles, what groups are aligned with you. And this can be a big time of really thinking about who you want to align yourself with. What groups are suited for your cause, your mission, your beliefs? All of this is coming up during this retrograde. So this is a big reflection moment. For those of you with a Taurus moon, Taurus ascendant, or you have your dasha sign, your Navamsa ascendant, or your sun sign, then this will be Saturn that is stationing retrograde in your 10th house. And this has been a brand new journey for you. Saturn coming into this 10th house is putting major demands on you, major responsibilities, major focus on your career, on your reputation, on those who are calling on you for assistance. So we have your Lord Venus that is positioned here in your 3rd house. By the end of this transit, it will have moved into your 5th house. So a lot of this has to do with your self-expression, your ability to tap into your gifts and talents and to use this out in the world. And this will become even more clear when Rahu shifts back into your 11th house, where this is pulling you out into the public, pulling you into the group situation, where it becomes all about what can you contribute, what gifts, what talents, what knowledge can you share with others. And so this Saturn retrograde really is urging you to look at your direction as far as your career, your direction as far as your responsibilities, your commitments, making sure that everything that you are committed to is something that you will see through until the end. For those of you with a Gemini ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn that is stationing retrograde in your ninth house. And so right now, this is a time of many possibilities opening up to you, but definitely Saturn is urging you to put in the effort to make this happen. Nothing is happening easily with Saturn. Saturn is the planet that is all about discipline, patience, and persistence. But definitely, this is a time that is all about your education, your studies, your personal growth, and your path ahead. So, this is leading you up to a brand new journey and experience for many of you. Now, Rahu will be shifting by the end of this transit into your 10th house. So, your direction, your path is definitely something that is coming into the picture here. Saturn stationing retrograde is urging you to look at all of your possibilities, all of your future scenarios. What is this all leading up to? Many of you are thinking about where you want to take things in the future, what stability, what foundation you want to end up with. And this is asking you to go in even deeper and to make sure that this is completely aligned with your path and direction. We're starting off here with Mercury that is sitting back in this 12th house for you. And by the end of the transit, it will be in your 5th house, where this is all about your self-expression. This is all about getting into the flow with what you enjoy, what you love, and what you can offer to the world. For those of you with a Cancer ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in your 8th house. This is quite an intense position of Saturn. Saturn definitely here is trying to get you to stabilize your life. This 8th house is all about sudden ups and downs, and Saturn is the planet of longevity. So this is a great time to implement structure and organization into your life, to really make sure that you are able to withstand the tides of your life. The moon is going to end up in your 1st house by the end of this transit. So this is really coming down to your emotions, to your passions, your desires, and your own sense of individuality. Is all of this in alignment with you? And again, this will all become apparent to you when Rahu shifts back into your 9th house, where you're starting to move into the future. You're starting to think about where you want to take things in your life. Rahu in the 9th house can definitely take you into foreign lands, can take you into connections with different cultural backgrounds. There's a lot of shifting that is happening in terms of your direction, especially where many of you have been focused heavily on your career, on your reputation. All of this is changing. You're starting to take a back seat and to look towards where you want your future to go. For those of you with a Leo ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in your 7th house. Big relationships really coming into the picture for you. And this is not necessarily only about romantic relationships, but business partnerships or any close relationships that you are involved in. Rahu has been sitting here in your 9th house for some time now. This has really taken you into a different direction as far as your belief systems, as far as what you value, what's important to you. Many of you have been shifting and changing in terms of what you believe and what you're willing to explore in life. As Rahu comes back into the 8th house, this is all about going inward. This is all about facing any fears, insecurities, facing yourself at a deeper level, understanding what is true to you. So this is really taking you into a zone of discomfort where you have to face all of the things that have been in the background for some time now. And this is all about finding your sense of inner security, as K2 will have moved back into that 2nd house. So your inner security, your own sense of self-sufficiency and stability coming into this space is very important. And you can see that many of your relationships can challenge this in you. Definitely you are being called to service in your partnerships. Any business dealings, any long-term relationships, this is becoming extremely important. The commitment aspect, the responsibility aspect is really coming into the picture with this. So this is definitely asking you to review all of your commitments and to make sure that this is something that will last for you. For those of you with a Virgo ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in your 6th house. So Saturn in the 6th house for you is an excellent position. This is all about getting your life in order. This is all about sorting out long-term issues that have been there in the past. So Saturn here is actually giving you a sense of routine, of stability, of bringing things back into a place of order, which is definitely something that you enjoy as a Virgo. This can also help you with long-term health issues as well. Saturn stationing retrograde here definitely is asking you to think about your daily life, your routines, your habits, making sure that all of this is aligned with this brand new direction that you're about to shift into. This is especially true because by the end of this transit, K2 will have shifted into your 1st house, which will definitely urge you to focus more on yourself, to focus more on your inner truth and understanding who you really are. But at the same time, this Rahu energy is going to draw a lot of attention to you. People calling on you for your attention, people seeking you out. So this definitely will indicate that you will need a sense of balance in your life, to have this time to yourself, to have this sense of peace, but to also deal with other people. For those of you with a Libra ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in your 5th house. Now, Saturn in this 5th house has been an excellent placement for you. This is the Mula Trikona sign that is sitting here in the Yogacaraka position, which is exalted in your sign of Libra. So very powerful position of Saturn. This position becomes all about your personal life and your friendships. Balancing this out to create a sense of stability in your life becomes extremely important. And this will become even more apparent by the end of this transit when Rahu will have shifted back into your 6th house. It's all about getting your life in order, all about getting all of your health, all of your routines, everything in your personal life in order. And so you will come into a space of decluttering, of really getting rid of all of the excess, all of the things that no longer serve you. K2 going back into that 12th house will take you into some introspection there also, which is all about, again, this letting go, surrendering, decluttering, moving away from the past. This is coming in very strongly for you. Saturn here in this 5th house is all about you moving into the direction of your dreams, your goals, your ambitions. And many of you coming into this transit feeling more ambitious, more determined to move into the direction of your dreams. But Saturn, of course, is always going to demand discipline of you, to demand patience and diligence in this pursuit towards your goals. Definitely avoid taking shortcuts with this placement and be very careful about the people who you are connecting with. For those of you with a Scorpio ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in your 4th house. This is definitely a time of thinking about your connections, your private life, your home and family, your marriage for some of you. Definitely, this is a huge time of thinking about these areas. For some of you, you're thinking about changing location as well. You're thinking about big moves, about really finding the security that is meant for you. Rahu will be shifting from your 6th house to your 5th house. So Rahu back in this 6th house has been all about you decluttering your life, getting your life in order the way that you want it to be. And so this has been the end of a chapter for many of you. But as Rahu comes into the 5th house by the end of this transit, this will be a time of new opportunities, new situations opening up to you. Some of you will be jumping into new romantic situations. Some of you getting into speculation, into some fun, enjoyment, into new possibilities about your goals, your interests, your ways of making money. This is really opening up as Rahu shifts backwards. Definitely when Rahu comes into the 5th house of your chart, you want to be very careful about risk-taking. You want to see the planets that are placed in your 11th house and in your 5th house. This is a time where you will be thinking about starting up new projects and finding multiple streams of income. So there's a lot that is opening up on the horizon here for you. And this retrograde is definitely about introspection, about thinking about what really makes you happy, what is really aligned with with your heart and really finding a deep inner calm and peace within yourself. So this is really taking you inward. This is all about the relationship with yourself. But again, by the end of this is preparing you for new relationship possibilities, for new connections, romantic, friendship, networking, all of this opening up during this Rahu transit in your 5th house. For those of you with a Sagittarius ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in your 3rd house. This has been all about getting your life in order. This has been all about your new direction, your new pursuits, your ability to take initiative on anything that you have been procrastinating on in the past. And so definitely this energy is about charging forward. But again, the retrograde is about slowing down and taking that time to examine everything that you are pursuing. By the end of this transit, Rahu will have been shifted into your 4th house of your chart, which is going to take you away from your career situation. There's some kind of change that is occurring around your career and home situation. This is all about home-life balance. But for many of you, as Ketu comes into the 10th house, this is all about thinking about your career direction and is it truly aligned with you? Some of you changing careers, some of you moving and shifting into the direction of entrepreneurship. This is definitely a very interesting transit. And for some of you, definitely with K2 in this 10th house, it's about being burnt out, frustrated in your career pursuits, and really figuring out what path is aligned with you, what truly brings you a sense of happiness and fulfillment. For those of you with a Capricorn ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in your 2nd house. Definitely this transit of Saturn and Aquarius has been all about you farming a sense of stability in your life. Many of you have felt a great deal of pressure, of frustration, sometimes even sickness, stress-related issues as Saturn has transited in your 1st house. But in this 2nd house, it's all about getting your life in order, getting that sense of structure and stability that you've been seeking for some time now. This will be Rahu that is shifting backwards from your 4th house into your 3rd house. This is an excellent placement. Definitely things are going to start moving for you. This is all about moving into the direction of success, moving into a direction of victory. But first with this transit, it is asking you to look into your personal sense of security and self-esteem, making sure that you find this victory within yourself before seeking it in external affairs. So this is all about really finding your sense of confidence and self-esteem, making sure that you have this all aligned for yourself as you come into this transit. Definitely this can put you into situations where you are forced to be more self-sufficient, where you find yourself relying on people less. And this is all a test of how confident you are within yourself. For those of you with an Aquarius ascendant, moon sign, dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in your 1st house. And this has been quite an interesting transit for you because Saturn is in its strongest home in your sign in this 1st house. So this has been a transit that many of you have been waiting for. That Saturn 12th house has felt a bit depressing, a bit isolating. There's been a lot to work through, to let go of in that 12th house, but Saturn finally moving ahead into your 1st house is giving you personal strength and empowerment to push forward. Of course, Saturn is not taking off the heavy load from you though. This is asking for discipline, consistency, and an ability to be humble as you move forward. But this is definitely giving you a sense of empowerment and an ability to move towards your goals and success in life. And by the end of this transit, Rahu will have been shifted from your 3rd house to your 2nd house. Now, Rahu in the 3rd house has been giving you a great deal of courage and confidence to move forward, to push forward, and definitely with Jupiter there helping you to expand and thinking about possibilities in your income. Rahu shifting back into the 2nd house for you also is getting you focused on your sense of security, on your resources, your finances, getting this all in order. And this is especially true because K2 will be sitting in that 8th house for you, which is another financial house. So this is a time of getting your finances in order, of really getting things sorted out. And for some of you, you may have to end or clear out things related to your finances as well. K2 back in that 8th house can also take you into occult knowledge, astrology, deeper studies. This is asking you to go into deep introspection to find this security not only externally but within yourself as well. For those of you with a Pisces ascendant, Pisces moon, Dasha sign, Navamsa ascendant, or sun sign, this will be Saturn stationing retrograde in the 12th house. This has been quite a heavy transit. Saturn back in the 12th house, for some of you creating some depression, some sense of loss, frustration, doubts in your life, some inner fears popping up here. This is a big time of letting go of the past. And this is especially true because by the end of this transit, Rahu will shift into your first house, taking you in a brand new direction. This is an end of an entire cycle. So for many of you, this heaviness that you've been feeling, this isolation, this inward feeling is urging you to go inward, to tie up those loose ends, to really let go of the past, to let go of those old attachments that no longer serve you. And for many of you, this has already started with Saturn being your 11th house lord, transiting through that 11th house, where you have lost some old friendships, old connections, old attachments that no longer serve you. So this is the end of all of this. This is all about putting this to rest, really making peace and letting go. And Rahu, of course, in your second house is all about rearranging your finances, rearranging your sense of stability and security. Jupiter in here giving you possibilities about new ways of increasing your income, but especially as Rahu pushes backwards into your first house, this becomes even more true. Definitely all of this is leading up to this brand new beginning where you are seeing so many possibilities and openings coming into your life when Rahu transits back into the first house. Saturn in the 12th house and Rahu in the first house can take you into foreign lands, can open you up to new possibilities and experiences that you've never had before. So this is all about embracing the new and fully letting go of anything that no longer serves you.